Okay. Are you familiar with that particular instance that was just mentioned? Talking to you now, that's Mr. Chibuzo, Mr. Chibuzo Oyendima. Are you familiar with the details of that he just mentioned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very familiar with it.
Okay. So, I mean, that's a dastardly thing. If a person who wants to act as a whistleblower then becomes an accused, tell us as much as you can about the situation.
Well, the situation is such that an incident happened in Africa Arbitrage Systems Limited, where the CEO of the company, due to health challenges, sudden health challenges, had to relinquish control of his firm to a trusted employee, and then he went for medical attention. While in medical attention, information filtered to him that things were happening at his firm. Luckily for him, he survived that medical condition he had, and he came back only to discover that a lot had happened in his firm. A balance of about $87 million that was sitting in the firm as at the time he left, by the time he came back, had been siphoned. And he ran straight to EFCC to go and report the incident. And suspects were named in the process, and the EFCC immediately swung into action. The first place, the main principal suspect's account contained about 400 million in PND, and the process continued, but it was rather slow. So he also ran to Interpol immediately, and Interpol continued from there, and they made some arrests and continued. Eventually, the case turned around, and the police got the CEO who reported the matter, got him arrested, incarcerated him for about 30 days before they transferred him to EFCC, who also incarcerated him for about 60 days before, following his petition to the courts for his fundamental human rights. EFCC eventually filed a charge, and we are in court today. So the CEO who reported the case is now being hounded instead of the person who has been accused for the theft and who has confessed to the theft.
Okay. Now, let me come back to you, if I can, Chief Obono Obla. These kind of things, you probably are going to be familiar with, the things of this nature in your profession. How did we get to this stage where a person seeking to assist the law, people keep on saying in our parlance that police is your friend. If you do the right thing now, it could turn out to be a dangerous thing. I know that one charge won't fit all cases, but how is it that we get to this stage, in your experience as a lawyer who probably has this kind of a thing is not strange to? How do we get to that stage where a person who did the right thing, you turn around and you now want to persecute him?
Well, I personally, it's an example. I was the chairman of the Special Presidential Investigation Panel for the Recovery of Public Property. And I dabbled into areas that all anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria have never dabbled into. For instance, I wanted to know why $7 billion that was given as a bailout by Obasanjo's government to commercial banks in the country was not returned, was dashed. They said they dashed the money. So I went into areas like that, and then I stepped into very powerful tools, even within the government that appointed me, and I was, I was scandalized, I was disgraced, I was persecuted, I was prosecuted, So that is typically an example of how a whistleblower or even an anti-corruption fighter can be turned into an accused. And we have seen a lot of instances in Nigeria. Ribadu Everybody was removed as EFCC chairman, and then thereafter they went after him. They purported to dismiss him from the police and post, and then he had to leave. He left the country. The same person who Farida Waziri, who took over from him, to suffer the same fate. Lamode to suffer the same fate. Magu, suffer the same fate. So all the EFCC chairmen we have had, they have been turned into investigators, whistleblowers, into accused persons. And this is one of the pitfalls of our law. Because it is not encouraging for people who have courage, people who are patriotic, to come out and say, look, so and so person did this against the law, and the person the law should bring him into account. Because if you don't have a mechanism for protecting whistleblowers, then we are not ready to fight crime in Nigeria. Because crime is not about corruption. What of the terrorism, banditry that has dogged the country for so many years? And because all these banditry, trafficking, corruption, they are all intertwined. Money laundering, they are all intertwined. So if you don't protect people who are whistleblowers, like Jessa Michael, who was a whistleblower, and then turning around to be turned into an accused person, by the same police that were working with him, he gave them all the information to make, so that they can, establish the allegation he leveled against some people. But he turned out to be an accused person.